I did expect a bigger crowd, but since we have what we have, this is still amazing to me, and it doesn't matter how many people we got people who showed up, and that's very important. So let me just get us started with this night and introduce our first artist, and she's a Palestinian MC from the Bay Area, and she's an amazing person. She does a lot of work in the community. She is an individual that inspires me because of her talent and her passion and for her people. And so let me introduce Libna Morar to the mic.
Yeah.
So quiet. It's like too quiet. So this first piece that I wrote, I actually wrote it back home. I wrote it in Palestine, and then the first time that I actually presented it was on this stage, and I told myself that I actually wasn't gonna present it again because it was really emotional for me and it was really hard. And then the recent shooting with the Chapel Hill 3, the 3 young students happened, and I realized how much that I need to actually do to do this piece. Is there a way to dim down those lights? Okay. Is what? They're either off or they're on. Can we turn them off? Yeah. Sorry, it's just really bright up here. And then when it's really bright, it gets really hot. And that's not really a good combination. That's better. Okay. So this piece is called Muhammad, Part 1. Most mornings I've woken up wishing that I didn't. The thoughts of all the Muhammads I have ever known have been running through my mind all night like goons in the night sky. My brother's name is Muhammad. My first love was an Muhammad. The first boy I seen massacred on national television by the Israeli Defense Force at the start of the Second Intifada was Muhammad. And Muhammad was also the first man that I hated. In the summer of 2014, while Gaza was getting shelled, settlers in Jerusalem came into Shafat and murdered an Muhammad Abu Khdair, made him drink arson, set his remains on fire, then threw his body in one of Jerusalem's forests. In 2009, Muhammad and his 37 family members were slaughtered like cattle from phosphate fire dropped on a school designated by the UN. The Prophet was an Muhammad. In Tunis, Muhammad Bouazizi set himself on fire in front of a government building when he was cited for selling fruit to feed his underprivileged family for nations to start challenging their living conditions. And Muhammad Fahmi's appeal is being accepted by the Egyptian government after more than a year of imprisonment for his reporting as an Al Jazeera journalist. And Muhammad sits on the stoop at Tahrir Square and watches women pass by him and begins to catcall. And somewhere else, at the same time, Mlatham through his face and yelling, Uskut, Yuskut, Husni, Mubarak, Tahya Masr. My whole life, the name Muhammad has been the remaining name that is on the tip of my tongue of every martyr. The pain of the Arab world relies on the names of Muhammads. The triumph of the Arab nations relied on the shoulders of Muhammads. Across the deserts that beam in the reflection of different skin colors of crimson and brass, their hair thick like wool and eyes deep, identical to that of their ancestral lineage. In my travels, I met a man who was named Muhammad, told me that he was trapped between his body and his conviction, his pen and his gun. And Muhammad is imprisoned and is on hunger strike. And Muhammad sits and waits trial at Gitmo for undocumented evidence that he has conspired against the U.S. government. He writes an op-ed and gets leaked to the New York Times. He reads the Quran on a daily basis because liberation is found after death. And Muhammad stands at the checkpoints, balancing his body on a boulder, naked while the sun blazes on his back, resembling hellfire, and blisters form in the same motions as volcanoes. And Muhammad roams the streets at night and lights up his spliff and gets beaten by the pigs. And it comes to the point where I should imprint the name of Muhammad on my flesh because my bones are breaking from the amounts of Muhammads that I am carrying on my back, who have been and will continue to be slain under the hands of their occupier. When my blood spills, it resembles the Nile, and it will shatter through veins and muscles and tissues and skins. And I know the redness of my blood will write out Muhammad in Arabic, and the verses that capture his name and hadiths in the Quran splash out on the pavements and walls in graffiti font. And if they happen to uncover my body and find the identity, let the name be Muhammad. Let the identity card number be Muhammad. From the land of Muhammads, from the sea of Muhammad, from the air of Muhammad. And for the coroner who is examining my death, I want him to write down underneath the cause Muhammad. Part 2. Terrorist, 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 the terrifying terrorist, the terror I sit, terror resist, terror I resist, terror I resist. I know I'm scared, but I'm not scary. And no pussy-ass Jundi can scare me. And no child killer can possess me. No coward that controls rockets from the skies like video games can come down and invade me. Come down to the floor, motherfucker. Let's see how you battle with your fists, motherfucker. Let's see how my wrath starts to invade your face, motherfucker. And they hide behind walls to fight you. Only heathens hide behind barricades. They believe in a God and God has told them that they are the chosen ones. Their God dropped down a book to tell them that they are the ultimate example of a creation. God gave them a rule book, a social construct to control the masses. And I'm not religious, and I don't believe in it. And most of the time, it's really hard to believe in him. And I know I'm not the only one, but I'm only human, homie. And I've witnessed fools so poor that all they have is money. They can wipe their asses with it. They negotiate with the devils with it. They suck the semen right out of him just to get a taste of it. And just lay it on top of man's tongue and watch how his entire being is possessed by it. And I'm not mad, I'm not mad, I'm not mad. This concept of being livid is over me now. It's numbing, because watching Muhammad slip away on my fingertip is painless and seamless. You keep beating a dead horse thinking that he will come to the river of water and dates and shade, but you forgot the horse is dead. You grew crops to kill us, added chemicals to the water, and now the shade is filled with gas pollutions. I am dead. Part 3. Everyone is trying to explain colonialism to me like it's a mathematical problem. But really, it's simple. The devil. White rich devil people. White rich devil people that live in lands they cannot cultivate. White rich devil people that live in lands they cannot cultivate invade brown lands. White rich devil people that live in lands they cannot cultivate invade brown lands and give themselves authority over indigenous livelihood at all costs of ethnically cleansing them out. White rich devil people that live in lands they cannot cultivate invade brown lands and give themselves authority over indigenous livelihood at all costs of ethnically cleansing them out, while they are forced to believe in a white God to tell them that they are supposed to suffer for the rest of their lives so that they can see paradise. And in the process, they turn brother against brother, making deals to sever each other, and they just wait on the sidelines like puppies watching wolves tearing each other up like vultures. And it's a very straightforward process. The concept is not new. These rich, white, devil people, they even did it among themselves. What made us think that we would never see the manifestation of their devil arise on our land and within our children? Where it becomes complex is because they expected us not to resist them. They expected us not to expose them or to slay them or to take them for their wretchedness. They think we will lay down on our back with our legs open and invite them in like lost lovers under tear gas smoke-filled lights. They expected that the land did not birth revolutionaries, but what they did not understand was that the land was a part of the revolutionary before it was a part of the revolution. It has been indoctrinated in my blood. All I know is landmass and placement and displacement and gentrification and decolonization and colonization. And when I give birth, I will be creating a nation of youth who will in turn into adults, and they will not be sheep. And I will teach my unborn children to resist them, and people who bore out of their oppression. And when we procreate, it's not just out of compassion and love, but mostly out of a necessity, because these rich, white, devil people are killing our babies. Muhammad Abu Khdir, Michael Brown, Andy Lopez, Oscar Grant, Alex Niento, Eric Garner, Diab Barakat, Yusuf Abu Salha, Razan Abu Salha are all a small part of their equation, but they are our entire mathematical solution, and we love them. We love the concept of love. This anger only arises out of a great deal of it, and I'm not talking about love between a man and a woman, or a woman and a woman and a man, but love that has been placed between all human species, that derives among all nations and tribes, and in here, there is no I. And Muhammad remembers that he is an embryo only made of clay. The siege is a waiting period. It's filled with our losses, 20 to 100 a day, and most are wounded. We are wounded. I was once told that the trauma of seeing your brother being slaughtered is the worst psychological experience a human can encounter, more so than the one being slaughtered. And Muhammad feels it, and I feel it, and you feel it. And in my mind, I'm checking this mass privilege of mine because I'm here on a stage at the African American Culture and Community Center with eyes glued to me versus eyes being glued to the TV, as we watch ethnic cleansing partaken, as we watch racism manifesting, as we watch colonialism, imperialism, and Zionism exhibiting itself like a canvas at the MoMA, with lights that are beaming on me, while swan lights are beaming on my brothers and sisters in the Mission and in Missouri, while lights are beaming over children that are held at the border between the U.S. and Mexico. Lights are beamed on prisoners who are being force-fed inside of prisons that settle in their lands. Lights are flashing over Gaza, and I'm asking myself, why am I fortunate to be here? And my belly is empty, but that's only temporary, and I can't understand why I get to eat after a certain time period, but most mothers in Syria are preparing to bury their children's bodies after Fajr, or a father is infected with AIDS in a village in Kenya, or a child becomes an orphan, or Iraqis are exiled from the land of Adam, or Iraqis are being killed by the children of Adam, or Syrians are being slaughtered by the same fucking children of Adam, or Ebola is swiping off all the people of Liberia, and I'm not supposed to be pissed off because I'm writing this bullshit for an event that is supposed to keep this bullshit at the door, not realizing that a lot of what we are creating is also bullshit. And I can't stop thinking of Muhammad, who is my brother, who is my uncle, my father, my lover, my nephew, my best friend. I am with you. You are always with me through these battles, with fists locked into each other like falling towers and guns blazing at our oppressor. And Muhammad has given life. He has given breath into these lungs that have stopped breathing. He has made this heart thump once again. I will live. Arabs live, Brown lives, Black lives, Filipino lives, Haiti lives, Palestine lives, Oakland lives, San Francisco lives, Ferguson lives, Brooklyn lives, Staten Island lives, and Muhammad is living through all of them. Thank you. Do I have time for one more? Or is that too much? Should I stop? Come back? Thank you.
Man, thank you, Lubna, so much. That was amazing. Everyone give it up for Lubna Baram one more time.